Hello citizens, how is it going? It's Manchester City first Brentford in the Premier League, and I think despite the form book, I think it's going to be a closer game than people expect. I think it'll be a tough game. I think Brentford are a good team. I think they got a great little manager, and I think they play really good football. Okay, if you look at it, we drew one game in our last 15, and it was away to Southampton, and Southampton played really well in the first half. We came into it in the second half, and you could argue that maybe we should have won it with the amount of possession we had and chances in the second half, but 1-1 was a fair result. And of course, we beat Fulham 4-1 at home in the FA Cup over the weekend. Brentford, however, lost their 5 games, and that includes a 3-1 defeat at home to United, and they lost 4-1 away to Southampton and 4-1 away to Everton in the FA Cup. But the Everton game, ignore that one, because I think with Lampard coming in there, new manager bounds, you expect Everton to put up a bit of a fight. I think Everton are going to be a lot more difficult to beat this second half of the season. So Brentford, where does that leave them against us? Well, it leaves them, I think, looking at them, you can probably say the Premier League's hit them hard over winter. We all know how hard the Premier League is, how competitive it is, and I think over the winter months with their small squad, I think it's hit them. It's their first time here, and I think they'll do better next season with it, but I think in the last few weeks you've seen that from them as they've trailed off a little bit. And of course, we're unbeaten at home, I think, for 13, 14 games, something like that, since we got beat by Palace 2-0. Again, we deserve to get beat there. And I think I've said it a couple of times on this channel that I think our home form, I think we've performed much better away from home. I know we've struggled recently against Southampton, Arsenal. Look, we shouldn't have won that game, but we did. That's what champions do. Of course, we beat Brentford 1-0 away too. But I think away from home, we've done quite well this season compared to our home. At least that's how I see it anyway. You might see it differently, but I think we've performed much better away from home, particularly defensively. Now, Brentford, like I said, this is a free swing for them. This is a free swing for most clubs. I don't think Brentford are going to go in there and try and waste the time. They might do, but, like we saw with Palace when they went in front, they just time wasted, which is what most teams do. Most teams will just time waste from the first minute against us. I don't think Brentford do that. I think Brentford will look to attack, and I think that'll benefit us as we counter, because obviously we're really good on the ball, but we counter really well as well. People forget that sometimes. We will hit teams on the counter, and we've got pace up front, and there was a few chances against Fulham in the first half in particular where we blew it, but usually we take our chances when we hit him on the counter. With De Bruyne in the middle, goes through him and he'll swing it left or right. So who would I play against Brentford? Well, I can't see the same defensive lineup. I can see Diaz coming back in, Laporte coming in. I think Cancelo and Walker will probably both play as well, although I think Zinchenko did really well against Fulham when he came on. I know it's a championship team, but I think Zinchenko showed me enough that he's probably ready for more Premier League game time. Who would I have in midfield? Well, you can't have De Bruyne and Gundogan in this game, I don't think. I think Rodri comes back in defensive mid for Fernandinho. I played De Bruyne, of course. And I think I played Bernardo, give him that energy, because I think Brentford are going to run quite a bit. Now, you've got on the left, Grealish. I don't think I will play Grealish in this one. I don't think he had a particularly good game against Fulham. He carried the ball all right, but he's just got that. He's just missing that end product, and maybe this is the game he would score in, but I don't think I'd play him. I'd probably play Sterling. I think he had a good game when he came on against Fulham. The only chance I can really be slightly critical is that free kick where he just bullied it over, but I can't take free kicks, so who am I to say anything about that? So I think I bring Sterling on, put him on the left, Mahrez on the right, and you Foden in the middle, because I don't really want to ever drop Foden. I think he's fantastic, and I think that's the team I'd go with. Of course, Edison in goal as well, hopefully. And I think we come away with 3 points there. But again, I'm a little bit, not concerned, but after a 2-week break, I'm always wondering where the team's going to be at. It's like I always think, international break, where the team's at just after it, when they've all been away. But I think with the Fulham game, I think we're well up for it. And I think we're ready to push on for the league now. And the good thing about our next few games is that we played before Liverpool in each time. So Liverpool are playing catch-up in points, but they're also playing catch-up in games as well. So if we can get a few wins now, if we win our next 3 or 4 games and we just keep putting points on the board, I think Liverpool might just, I'm not going to say they're going to drop off the pace, but it's going to be disheartening, isn't it? And you just keep the pressure on them. Then again, if we lose against Brentford or we drop points against Brentford and Liverpool win, maybe that swings the other way. It's like a penalty, isn't it? Penalty shootout, you take the first point and you score it, great. If you miss it, you're in a bit of trouble. But I think we'll come away Brentford with the win. I think form tells us that Brentford have no chance. But it's the Premier League, anything can happen, and if we're not up to it, Brentford might, spring a surprise on us. And that's it, really. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm going to be there. So let me know in the comments if you're going as well and what score you think it's going to be. I am going to call it as... I just never trust City to keep a clean sheet. I don't know why that is. I know we've had some great clean sheets this season against United and Chelsea and, you know, other teams like that, but I can't see us keeping a clean sheet here. So I'm going to go with a... 3-1. 3-1 win to City. All right, that's it. And as always, thanks for, you know, watching the video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you at the game. Looking forward to it. Bye-bye.